Hey everybody, my name is Darren, and it's my joy to bring to you another broadcast of Talk Recovery. Talk Recovery comes to you from the ministries of North Parkway Assembly of God in Pekin, Illinois, and our mission is to bring you stories, testimonies from individuals who are successfully walking their journey in recovery across our state here in Illinois. Tonight we have another wonderful story and testimony from someone that has become a friend to my wife and I, and I'll introduce you to her in just a moment. Before I do that, I wanted to make you aware, if you're not already, that one of the things that at North Parkway Assembly of God that we've been able to do is to provide some crisis response to recovery programs here in our city. Our program is normally not done online, Celebrate Recovery, but our Celebrate Recovery Crisis Response, CRCR, has been able to do that. And so on Thursday nights, right on our Facebook page, which is simply Celebrate Recovery Pekin. You can find us easily, do a Google search or search us on Facebook. We do a online teaching for those who are dealing with hurts, hang-ups, various types of habits, doesn't matter what it is, chemical dependency, codependency, drug addiction, mood swings, mental issues, anxiety, depression, suicidal tendencies, whatever your hurt, hang-up, or habit is, we are bringing you some lessons and some teachings to help you to fight your fight against addiction. So join us at 6 o'clock, and then at 7 o'clock, we have our share groups. So if you're looking for a group to be a part of, the guys meet with the guys and the girls meet with girls. We do this through a Zoom platform, which you can download to your phone or to your electronic device. Very easy to use, user-friendly. And through our Zoom online meetings, we are able to provide some groups for individuals who are just looking for a little additional help in your journey of recovery. So tonight, I don't want to take any longer. I want to introduce you to a wonderful, wonderful woman by the name of Trish. You actually got to hear from Trish's husband a couple of weeks ago, Jeremy. Trish is a wife, a mom. She is a Christian. She loves Jesus with all of her heart. And she is someone who has personally walked a journey of recovery, but she's also walked a journey of helping someone to walk in their successful journey of recovery. So I'm very, very excited for you to hear Trish's story. We've been able to hear her story. I've heard her testimony on 2 different occasions. Very powerful. I know you're only going to get a little 10 or 12 minute piece of her testimony, but I believe it's going to be really encouraging to you. And then don't leave us, hang around, because after her testimony, she's going to be helping us to understand some keys to the success that she's had in her recovery. So would you welcome tonight to Talk Recovery, Trish A.
Greetings, everyone. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ in recovery for drug and alcohol addiction, codependent behavior, and control issues. My name is Trish. I grew up in a broken home raised by my mother. My parents divorced when I was around the age of 4, and I never developed a close relationship with my father. My mother and I would move from state to state, and I would attend a different school year after year. Growing up in an alcoholic home, I experienced several forms of abuse as a child and witnessed the physical abuse of my mother by her alcoholic boyfriends. Lack of supervision and structure growing up would make it easy for me to experiment with drugs and alcohol as a teenager. I would use to try to ease the pain and the memories that I experienced as a child. I would find myself in and out of dysfunctional relationships, abusive relationships, just like my mother. In these relationships, I would try to fill the lack of love that I felt as a child. Today, Jesus Christ fills that love for me. I was introduced to Jeremy, my now husband of 5 years, through mutual friends that we shared. He drank alcohol and he liked to party and was fun to be around. Our relationship quickly became chaotic, and it was an all too familiar scene. He began going down a path that I wasn't willing to follow. The pain of our breakup was too much for me to bear, and I felt like I couldn't go on. So I took an unknown amount of my prescription anxiety medicine, hoping that I wouldn't wake up. But God had a different plan for me. In Jeremiah 29:11 through 12, it says, "For the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. You will then call upon me, come to me and pray, and I will hear you." But it would be several months before I would understand God's promise. I learned that Jeremy had been in an accident and was now in jail for selling drugs. And after our separation, I began attending Sunday church, and this is where I'd be introduced to Celebrate Recovery. The first time I visited CR, I bought resources, and I walked right back out the door because I feared the change. I began visiting Jeremy in jail and sending him those resources that he would use to share with others inside the jail. I began to pray for the first time in my life, and I would pray, asking God for Jeremy to be okay. Well, God answered that prayer, and then some. The man that entered that jail was not the man that left the jail. And this taught me that our God is not just a God of the possible, but a God of the impossible. Through the 12 steps and 8 principles of Celebrate Recovery, I found healing from my shame and guilt of my past, and I learned how to make amends to people that I have harmed and offer forgiveness to those who have hurt me. I learned to forgive myself for the first time and truly accept the sacrifice that Jesus made on the cross for my sins and the sins of others. I no longer attempted to fill the void inside myself by fulfilling the needs of others. The emptiness that I had in my past has been, and is filled by the love of Jesus Christ. Celebrate Recovery teaches us how to love as Jesus loved, disciple others, and how to serve as Jesus served. 1 Peter 4, "Therefore, since Christ suffered in his body, arm yourself also with the same attitude, because whoever suffers in the body is done with sin, and as a result, they do not live the rest of their earthly lives for evil human desires, but rather for the will of God." Celebrate Recovery Principle 8 says, "Yield myself to God to be used to bring good news to others, both by my example and by my words." This principle moved me from being a listener of the word to being a doer of the word. I give back by sponsoring and discipling other women, helping them grow in their relationship with Jesus Christ. I intentionally connect with women in residential treatment centers and give them rides to Celebrate Recovery and church service. On April 20th of this year, I celebrated 5 years of sobriety from alcohol and all drugs, illegal and prescription. Thank you for letting me share.
Trish, your story is absolutely amazing, and it would only be my hope that the people who are watching this tonight would somehow, some way be able to hear your complete and full testimony. Thanks for sharing and being so transparent with us tonight. It takes a lot to do this. So could you take a few minutes, Trish, and could you share with us maybe 2 or 3 keys to your successful journey in recovery? I know you've done this for a while. You're part of a Celebrate Recovery program in Bloomington Normal. I know that you teach this, you preach this, but you also live this. So could you take a few moments to share with us how are you successfully doing your recovery?
3 things for a successful recovery. These are 3 things that I am doing. Number 1, let's see. I had to learn to adapt to a new schedule. So finding a new routine. And for me, that routine is waking up every morning around the same time. It doesn't matter what day of the week that it is. And I read my Bible or devotionals every day. I think it's important that we start our day off on a positive note, and the best way to do that is to be in the Word. It just sets our path in the right direction and helps our day go much, much better. Our mindset is where it needs to be. So after my daily devotionals, then I kind of, I have coffee and I have breakfast with my husband. We get to watch the news together. This is something that we didn't get to do before. So I'm really kind of enjoying this time that we get to spend together. Our schedules were very different before, so this has given us an opportunity just to start our day off together, and I'm really enjoying that. I am also setting goals of things that I want to accomplish for the day. It could be little goals, just little things that you want to do, whether it's cleaning out a closet or writing a letter or reaching out to somebody, but just have these goals that, by the end of the day, these are things that you want to kind of accomplish and get through. Part of adapting to a new schedule is also changing my perspective on things. And I had to change my mindset. It's not what I don't get to do today. The things that we can't do. We can't go to our favorite restaurants, or we can't, gather together, or go to church. We can't do those things. But it's what I do get to do today. And part of that is I'm able to spend more time with my family, enjoy their company. My daughter's not in school right now. So really, our relationship has grown. Her and I got to spend a lot of time together. So it's just changing that mindset of, not looking at the negative, but the positive. Number 2 is mental health. So my mental health is a huge part of my recovery. So it's important for me to be very aware of what's going on with me and in my mind, because it's easy for me to spiral down. So exercise is huge part of my mental health. I know that I have to exercise, and just I do that. I go for walks, bike rides. We spend a lot of time out at the lake, walking trails. A lot of times my husband will go fishing, and I'll go on trails, by myself, which then I just get to have that quiet time with me. And in that moment, I get to talk to God. I get to pray for my loved ones, pray for what's going on in the world. Just let loose. And he's somebody that we can talk to and just unload on, and just release a lot of that frustrations. And when we get it out, then we're not holding it in, and it's not building up frustration in ourselves. So spending time outside as much as we possibly can when the weather is nice. I try to make that a priority as well. Like yesterday, I was able to go on a bike ride with my husband. We rode 14 miles, and it was really nice to do that. It was also nice to push myself to see that I could do it. And these are probably things that I wouldn't do normally in a normal situation. So, and number 3, staying in contact with my sponsor. I reach out to my sponsor if I need it. My sponsees, making sure that they are doing okay. I have a couple women that I sponsor, and I like to keep in close communication with them. Also, attending the CR Open Share Zoom meetings that we're allowed to do. I think that connection is very important, that we stay in contact, not just with our accountability partners and our sponsors, but the other women in recovery. I found that they need that connection and that contact, and we need to know that we're all in this together, that we need to encourage one another, that God's going to see us through this, and not only see us through this, but we're going to come out better on the other side. And it's just a good thing. So I think that's all that I have. Those are the three things that there's more, but those are the top three things that I'm working on with my recovery. So thanks for letting me share with you guys.
Thanks, Trish. And this has been another broadcast of Talk Recovery. Hope that you will join us. This goes on our media, several areas of media, social platforming at 6 o'clock on Thursday evenings. And we hope that you will join us next week for another broadcast of Talk Recovery. My name is Darren. It's been a joy. God bless you.